This segment is sponsored by Pan American Life. At Pan American Life, service isn't just what we do, it's who we are. We stand beside our agents with real support, real answers, and a leadership team that listens. When you partner with us, you're backed by a company built on trust and dedicated to helping you serve your clients with confidence. Pan American Life, where exceptional service empowers exceptional agents. Visit palig.com today.
Well, I am very excited about this next segment with some new friends of mine from Pan American Life Insurance Group. We've got Luke Cosme here. He is their Senior Vice President for all of US Life Sales, Marketing, and Operations. So welcome to you, Luke.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
And we also have Carmen Millie Gomez, Sales Vice President for the US Hispanic market with Pan American Life. So welcome to you, Millie.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
We're going to jump right into the conversation. I happen to have a lot of interest in the foreign national market. I feel like I know my way around. We've got a lot of FAs, BJs listening. I wanted you to really just kind of start out high level about the foreign national market, Luke.
Absolutely. So the foreign national market, when you think of that title, it's a bucket that gets a lot of things thrown into it. So for most companies, they look at a foreign national as anybody that isn't a U.S. citizen. And that's understandable in some ways because there might be a lack of comfort or a lack of understanding of the risk profile of a foreign national. But it's also in some ways not fair to the people who live here in the U.S. So, and I'm going to throw stats out there from time to time that'll be approximations. But approximately 20 million people in the U.S. are legal permanent residents. And when you look at these people, they're going through the immigration process, they live here, they work here. The risk profile from a life insurance perspective is very similar to that of a U.S. citizen who lives here. So one of the things that we look at is rather than saying everyone's a foreign national, everyone else is a U.S. citizen, we look at it from a residency perspective. So this person is a U.S. resident. We try to treat them exactly the same as we do everybody else who lives here. Yeah. Provided that they're a legal resident, they've got a job, and they're going through that process.
You know, and it's really important for the FAs especially, but even BGAs that work in this market, not to be, not to rule out going into that marketplace. It's the same, and I know your company makes it very easy. What I also think is interesting, and Millie, to have you talk about a really huge market in the United States, that's the Hispanic marketplace. Kind of give us the overview there, kind of who you work with across the country, and kind of some frame of reference around the whole Hispanic marketplace.
Well, thank you, Chuck. One of the things that we have the expertise in our company is just that, right? In the Hispanic market. It goes back to the core of our story from back in 1911, and I'm proud to say that across all of the years, we've done it very well. And so knowing our Hispanic market and working with them, it's very, very cultural, very natural to us. And we have this great opportunity here in the United States right now. And we have had it for a while, but it has been not really taken advantage of in a good way to be able to provide coverage to our non-residents or our residents here in the U.S., Hispanic residents.
You know, what I really like about that is I want FAs to realize that, again, not to be afraid of that marketplace. And there are resources like at your company, BGAs that work with your company and others that work in that marketplace. And it's a big market. There's definitely differences, right? And some differences that people need to be aware of, especially FAs with their clients. What are some of the support needs and some things that you do and that are necessary in this marketplace, Luke?
So as we were just saying, the risk profile for residents, legal residents here in the U.S. is very similar, but the needs can be different. So life insurance products can be complex. The process itself can be foreign to people that haven't been through it. So one of the things to really help clients in this space is to have the educational materials that they can take and that they can truly understand. And for a lot of folks, they may have conversational English, they may speak English quite well, but to truly understand how the product might work, to truly understand what the process is going to be and why they have to do some of the things, they really need to see that in their first language. And it's more than just taking a brochure and translating it from English into Spanish. Right. You have to have somebody that works with them that understands where they are, that may have been sitting in that same seat 5, 10, 15 years ago, that understands the concerns that they have about family, whether that be, cultural concerns, whether that's, whether that's something that they share with someone else as well. You want to have that, not only that empathetic, but that sympathetic approach to how you train clients and how you train agents. Your question, though, when you're talking about advisors and whether or not they should take a look at this market, the market is enormous. I think we expect by 2030, 20% of the U.S. population will be Hispanic. Wow. That's 60 million plus people in the U.S. And if you look at LIMER statistics, that is the cultural group that has the lowest percentage of life insurance ownership. And that amount continues to drop year after year. Mm-hmm. So if you're an advisor saying, how do I make a difference? How can I go out there and truly do what I feel like I was born to do? This is the perfect opportunity, and it's a huge greenfield opportunity for you.
Yeah, I love hearing that. I mean, we already have a U.S. coverage gap, right? Mm-hmm. All Americans. And then as you described the Hispanic market, the coverage gap is even bigger. Mm-hmm. And I know that's where Millie focuses her attention. Anything you would add, Millie? And I was thinking about process and some of the requirements that Luke was talking about, but even are there unique aspects of the sales process that you wanted to speak to for the Hispanic marketplace?
Thank you, Chuck. And actually, I wanted to add something to what Luke said, which is so important, exactly what he said. And there are things that as a company we have identified that helps us cater to our Hispanic market. And number one is that trust matters to our Hispanic client. It is so important. You may have the tallest building, right? But that customer is going to come to their advisor for help. It's important to have that cultural nuance. It's so essential for us to reach that customer. And last but not least is understand how unique they are. And in order for that education to flow through, we have to understand the culture to be able to break through the taboos in the Hispanic market and in our culture. And we have done that very well throughout the years, understanding just that need to be able to cater and provide exactly what they need for life protection.
Yeah, and I just want FAs to feel good about working in this market. I think you said 60 million Americans by the year 2030, if I caught that right. Yep. So this is a big market in the Hispanic marketplace, and BGAs and others that really support that marketplace. I think it's really vital to pay attention to it, and maybe it's a good opportunity for you to grow your business with a really important part of our population in the United States. So Luke, Millie, great to have you with us today on Off the Page. I wanted to thank you both. Luke, we'll hopefully see you again in the future.
I certainly hope so. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and you too, Millie. And good luck with your sales year in 2026.
Thank you so much, Chuck. Thank you for having us.
Take care.
You can find Luke's full article on page 16 of the January-February edition of Aspire magazine for 2026. Link in the description.